y'all, it's Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and today we're going to be looking at the Pagan Ways Tarot by Anna Franklin. This is from Schiffer Publishing, and it's brand new. This is the guidebook, and I like the guidebook because it does something a lot of guidebooks don't do. It does full color images of the cards, so you can really see what you're looking at. Anna Franklin is the creatrix of several other decks. She has done the Fairy Ring Oracle and the Sacred Circle Tarot. The Sacred Circle Tarot is a lovely deck. She does digital photo manipulation is the type of card she does. And here she says, the Pagan Ways Tarot. In creating a new deck that changes some of the names, symbols, and imagery of older decks, I'm following along an honorable tradition. This is an unapologetically pagan tarot, and the ideas within it are based on the pagan worldview, its symbols and teachings, rather than the Judeo-Christian imagery of older decks. Now, as a pagan, I like that. I will do a shout out to the idea that the original tarot had a great deal of Judeo-Christian imagery because it was created within that framework. There's a lot of discussion on who, how, what the tarot was created. I am not of the Atlantean Mew community. I do not believe that it was created by the Atlantans in Atlantis. And I am not denying the reality of Atlantis. Let me just put that out there. But I don't think the cards came from there. We can trace them to China, where I think they had the first pasteboard games. I believe, I may be getting off track here, but I believe that's where we first got the first cards, and then tarot was popularized as a game probably in Italy, and as a fortune telling probably by the Romani, or what some people call gypsy, which I'm told is considered an ugly word to the Rom. So I try not to use it for that reason. But let's get back to tarot, because that's what you came here for, right? And I am going to be branching out to some other things. Somebody asked me about totem animals and spirit guides and how I chose mine. We'll probably talk a little bit about mediumship using tarot and some other topics here on the channel. I've had a lot of new people join me because of the lovely, lovely Ember Honey Raven, who is my darling, darling girl. Thank you so much, baby. I really appreciate the shout out. And I appreciate all those of you who've come to check me out because of her shout out. She is kind of loud sometimes, isn't she? So, we're going to look first. I like to pull one card from each suit. Then I like to show you all of the court of at least one suit. And then I like to move into the major arcana, just so you know my pattern of review. Here we start with the sword, and I pulled out the Ace of Sword because I was really struck by something in it. Let me show this to you. Oh, that glare. Let's see if we can get rid of that glare a little bit. So what we have here is the word intent. But what I really, really, really like, let me see if I can get my camera not to move in and out on me. Look at the hands. Emphasis on hands. There's two hands holding this sword. And I love that it incorporates this beautiful growth up here. But what I like a lot about this card in particular is that there are two hands on that hilt. If you've ever tried to pick up a sword, particularly I'm not sure that this is a broadsword or not, but it could be. But anyway, I digress as usual. They're heavy. One hand, you're going to be doing this, right? So I really like the idea that they're, with intent, they're showing two hands so that you can really focus on your intent. Swords are a mental suit in my worldview. They are an air suit. They are the suit of east, dawn, and beginnings. And the ace is the seed energy. So this is about the beginning of a thought process, the beginning of a mind project. And that I really, really like that we have two hands on that. And the crown. The crown is nice. It's very traditional in terms of the Rider-Waite. But the crown for me talks about the crown chakra and piercing the crown chakra and getting that information up and then getting the information down. I'll talk a little about chakras part. If y'all tell me in the comments you want to hear more about chakras, just holler at me. I've got a chakra spread and maybe we can do that. The next suit after air is wands, and I'm doing these in the order that I prefer. Some people put swords in the north, and that's a Mike Nichols, Gwydion, has a great piece about why he puts air in the north and not the earth in the north. So, this is the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is typically a card of challenge, of somebody on the high ground defending others off from them. You can't see my hands, but I'm waving it around like this. You probably don't want to see my hand waving around like that. It looks like a weird ghost image. Oh, okay, stop. Sorry. Here we go with the the Seven of Wands. I will try to hold it like that so we don't have as much of the reflection. That is a hot damn woman, which is an unusual Seven of Wands. Often that's seen as a male card because it's such a military card. But in this card, she's got the traditional 6 down here and the defense weapon in her hand. There's a cloudy background going on back here. And challenge. Challenge is the keyword. Now, I'm not huge on keywords on tarot decks. And I'll tell you why. I think it locks you in to the meaning. And I don't like being locked in. There are people who will do what we call borderectomies, and they cut all the borders and the words off. So all you have is the picture. So all you would have is like that. Whoop. Well, that's really bad, isn't it? Right? So you don't see anything but the picture. And for me, it's a little easier intuitively. I've learned in the years that I've been reading for, well, since 1980, 1981, somewhere in that, so 34, 35 years, something like that. But for me, I've learned to ditch stuff. I just kind of selectively see. My husband will tell you I do selective hearing, too. I think he's wrong. It's a personal thing. Moving into the cups or water suit. Oh, and for me, fire is south. And it's noon. It's the heat of the day. Cups are early evening. They're fall. It's a softer energy. And I've got here the 9 of Cups, which is abundance. Now, something some people don't like is that in her images, she's used friends and people that she knows. So these are people comfortable to her and that she's worked with. I don't have any problem with it, y'all. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. You know, use what you know, do what you love, and let your spirit go into it. The 9 of Cups is abundance here. That, for me, I would associate abundance with an earth card, but that's just me. But the 9 of Cups is make a wish card in a lot of decks. It's the card that when I pull it for a client, I'm really happy for them because, like, you get Heart's Desire time coming up. You get to pick what you really, really love. You get to pick what you love, what you really, really love. Did I warn y'all that I sing and I sing badly? Blame it on Ember. And now let's go to the last of the suits. And the suits are what we call the minor arcana or arcana. I tend to call it arcana. And some people refer to them as the pip cards. And it is the 7 of Pentacles. Now, this card is often called the card of the gardener. She's calling it cultivation, which is really lovely. There are apples here that he's gathering up. And he's fixing to hang this other pentacle up. But what he's doing right now is a very important, for me, piece of the 7 of Pentacles. He's pausing. He's looking at what he's done. He's looking at what he's accomplished. And he's taking a momentary break. Sometimes I think that we get so deeply into a project that we forget to step back. I know that as a fiction writer, my writing partner Kay and I will be so into a book that by the time we get to the end, we have to take a break. We'll go write a different book. We tend to write 2 or 3 books at a time, but we'll put that book over to the side for a little bit and come back to it. And it's really good when you come back to it because you find things like, oh look, I have an adult looking at adolescent girls and thinking how hot they are. Whoopsie, we had head hopped, and that was supposed to be one of the young boys looking at the young girls, which is way more appropriate. It's kind of skeevy when you get it into an adult looking at kids. Yeah. I judge and I digress. It's a great video. We're going to look at, if y'all aren't laughing now, I'm sorry, because this is me. I'm kind of silly. We're going to look at the court cards. Oh, did I show you the backs? The backs are beautiful, beautiful. I got my fingers in the right. Waxing, full, waning. And you turn them upside down. Same image. Really important. Or is it the same image? Let's look again. Yes, it's a mirror image. Sorry to do this. I like that. I don't actually read with reversed cards, but for people that do, it's an important piece whether or not you can reverse the back or not. Because then as a reader, you're looking at things and you're going, oh, there's a reversal coming up. I'm going to have to figure out how to work that. And God, I hope it's not a really bad reversal. You know, so we get kind of stuck on that. She does princess, knight, queen, and king. The princess, we're doing swords, so the heir. I really like her. Each princess represents one of the quarters, and the queens represent the cross quarters, if I'm getting this right. But this is Imbolc. Hold it down like that. The lambs here. Imbolc is the lambing season. It's milk. It's a milk ritual for many of us, and it is a really. I love Imbolc a lot. Some people call it Candlemas, and there's a tradition of blessing all of the candles you're going to use for the year, and that will be your magical tools for the year. Here comes the Knight of Swords, and he has a key word that we associate with air, which is knowledge. Woo. I love that he's on a horse dressed for jousting. He's got a big sword, ladies and gentlemen, and the bird coming in. The Knight of Swords is very often an air traveler. It can be an airplane travel is one of the associations with it. But knights are travelers. Knights are movers. The air knight is one of the faster knights, and they kind of slow down. So you've got super fast, pretty fast, kind of casual, and then slow plotter when you get down to earth. Here's our lady, our queen. She also has, I can't tell where I am, the hawk. She also has a sword, but she's also got a musical instrument. That's a harp there. And musical instruments are also part of air. And the queen is Ostara. Ostara, of course, is the holiday and the goddess that we also know as Easter. I've seen her spelled Eostara, Ishtar. There's many different combinations, and there is some theory that Ishtar and Ostara are not the same, but I kind of lean towards them being a blend of, even if they're two different, they're a blend of similarity. And then we move to the king, and he is the element itself. He is air. And I love how he's up in the mountains. He's very, very high up. He's holding that sword. And he's got that sword in 2 hands. He's got, those are both hands on that sword. One's on the blade, And I think that's a reminder that our thoughts can be sharp and our thoughts can wound us and others. Something to consider. When I look at the major arcana, there are a couple of cards that I like to see, and so we're going to look at those. They're kind of my markers, if you will. I've pulled a couple more that I just liked the look of. One is the High Priestess. You'll recognize this as the cover of the book. The owl coming in. She's got the crystal ball in her lap. The columns are dark and light. I think that's very important. There's a veil indicating that she is not quite behind the veil, but not quite in front of the veil. So that's kind of your own question, is on which side does she sit. And she's very unapproachable here, and I kind of like that, because for me the High Priestess is a card of mystery and arcane knowledge, and you have to be a little scared about approaching that kind of knowledge. Another card that really jumped out at me from this deck was the 10 card. Typically this is the Wheel of Fortune. Pagan Tarot says it's the weird. Look at that spider web behind them, right? And y'all, my camera on my computer likes to zoom in and out. I have not figured out how to make it stop that, so I apologize. But these are 3 women. They represent the weird or the Norn, and they are the 3 women who control our fates. Very, very good Wheel of Fortune for me. Death is freaking awesome. I haven't read the book, so I don't know who she's supposed to represent, but with the crows around her, the ravens around her, and her age, I would think she's one of the Morrigan's triple identities, the crone version. And here are poppies. Poppies! Poppies! Yeah, those kind of poppies. Okay. I can't get the glare off. Whoa, she looks kind of spooky there. But she's actually got a face. She's not all skeletal like this is making it look. Stop that, computer. Okay, well I can't, but she actually has a kindly, elderly face. She does not have a spooky, hollowed out, black eye face. Great. Now, one card that I always look at, Death is one of my cards that I gotta see Death. Gotta know what it looks like. The Fool to some extent, but this is the other one, the Star. And this is a great star. She's in the water. She's reaching up. She's got the jug that she's holding into the water and reaching towards her goal. I just think this is a great star card. She's naked without being overly naked, if you will. I don't know what overly naked means. Just back up, cancel that, never mind. And then the universe, the world card here is gorgeous. I just looked at it and was like, wow, it knocked me out. There's color, there's power, there's everything in this card. Oh, you want to see it? I'm sorry. And I've got to work on getting a better camera and stuff, because you really can't see the intensity of color down here. But this really pops these 4 colors of the elements. You've got water, air, fire, and earth there. Up here you've got the zodiac going around her. She's got the hoop. The hoop makes me giggle, because I have a personal saying, you can only control what's in your hula hoop. Now, before we quit, I want to show you 2 more cards, because this really keys in to the idea of Pagan. This is the Lady. Nope. This is the Lady. And the Lord. And you'll notice it's not Lady, it's the Lady. And I love her. She is kind of an interpretation of the Morning Glory Zell and Otter Zell's Gaia statue with the belly of the world in her lap. She's got the rabbits, the hares that are there, the butterflies for transformation. But she's so ethereal, y'all. She looks like she's kind of is the green wood, not just is sitting there, but her hair, she looks like she is the green wood. And then we have the Lord, and he's here as Kernunos, I'm almost positive. He's got the shaman's headdress, the birds are coming in, there's all sorts of animals, there's the badger, there's foxes, it looks like there's mink or weasels in there, and a rabbit. But this is very much about male power, masculine energy. You cannot get away from that, just as this is very feminine, very caring, very nurturing. And she's inward. You see how she's holding her hands inward and he's holding everything outward? So her body posture is this and his is that. It's a very nice representation of the yin yang of masculine and feminine to me. So, and as always, the box is amazing. I really love Schiffer boxes. Y'all will hear me say that a lot when I'm looking at Schiffer because I really like their boxes. And the Fool is represented as a child. Let me grab the Fool really quick for y'all just to see the Fool going after that butterfly. And there's no little dog in this. I'm kind of fond of the idea of the little dog and our little conscious, and I'll have to read up on what Anna Kay says. The inside of the box is beautiful. It shows you a pretty scene. Well, there. And talks to you about the creator. I hope that you have enjoyed this review of Schiffer's The Pagan Way Tarot, Pagan Ways Tarot, and look how that box closes. See? It goes right back down. So, definitely a great box to have. Roam through my videos. If you've got a deck you want me to review, holler it out in the comments. When I get back, my collection and I are separated right now. But I have 411 decks to date. So, I may have what you want me to look at, and I'd be happy to pull it up and do images and talk to you a little bit about it. I'm Arwen of Tarot by Arwen. You can find me online at tarotbyarwen.com. I'm also periscoping, which is a live streaming thing where you can chat with me and doing free readings and that sort of thing. So if you're on Periscope, look me up. How? I'm Tarot by Arwen there too. I'm Tarot by Arwen just about everywhere, y'all. So let's hook up and let's chat. Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.